Okay, good morning, Year 9. Over the next number of weeks, you're going to learn how to program using a programming language called Python. Now, some of you maybe used Python before at home, but for most of you, it will be entirely new, and it will be different from other programming that you've done in the sense that this will be the first programming language where you'll have to type the code letter by letter. In the past, you've used programs like Scratch or the BBC Microbit, where the code has existed in blocks and you've simply pulled it together. In Python, it's a text-based programming language. You'll be typing in the code. Hopefully that doesn't sound too daunting for you, and hopefully this little introductory video will get you started. The first thing you need to do is to log into the website, and the website can be found at training.cia.org.uk. So if you click on that, it should bring up this page, and then you click on C2K account login only, and it'll ask for your username and password. So it's just your normal C2K username and password, and if you can't remember that, then you can drop me an email, emartin680 at c2ken.net, and I can reset it for you. So click on login, and that should take you, well, initially it'll probably bring you to a profile page because this will be the first time you've logged in to the site. Obviously I've logged into the site a few times, so I don't see that page, but on your profile page it'll ask for basic information about yourself, a bio, maybe your likes and dislikes. I can't remember what it is exactly for students, but the only field I would really recommend that you fill in is your email address, and try and use your C2K email address, which is your username at c2ken.net. So once you've filled in your bio page, then you should be presented with a few options of different courses that you can enroll in. And the course that I would like you to enroll in is Getting Started with Python. So click on that, and that'll bring you to this page. Now, this may look, again, slightly different for you in the sense that you'll not see this option, Teacher, how to use this course, or Activity Solutions. You will probably, or you should see Pupil, how to use this course, Enroll Me, Glossary, and Python Quick Reference Sheet. On the left hand side, this is basically all the options you have within this particular course. These are the tasks that you'll be working on over the next number of weeks, and this is the page that we're currently on, the welcome page. Now the first thing I'd like you to do is to enroll in a particular class. So if you click on Enroll Me, and you'll see along the left hand side all the different enrollment groups, and on the right hand side is then the members of a particular enrollment group. Now, as it's Year 9, I would like you to enroll in a Year 9 group, and if you're in 9A, I want you to enroll in Group 1, 9B Group 2, 9C Group 3, 9D Group 4, and 9E Group 5. And to enroll yourself in the course, you simply click on the group that I've just indicated for your collect, and well, I'm already enrolled there, so if I just remove myself from there and I go back to Year 9 and I click on Enroll Me, now I'm a member of Year 9 Group 1, and simply add yourself to the correct grouping. Once you've done that, then you can go back to the welcome screen, and it might be useful just to have a read over this little Pupil, how to use this course guide. I think this gives you a sort of quick overview of the course. Now I'll go through it very basically for you now. This, I guess, outlines what you'll cover in the course. Um, the first task, the chatbot task, really introduces you to basic input and output. And what I mean by that is how to make a program output something to the screen or print something to the screen, and also then how to input something into the program from the screen. And that's known as basic input output. Now, further on, as you progress through the little course, you'll also learn how to sequence, how to do sequencing, how to do selection, repetition, and use variables. And how you, I guess, progress through the course depends on very much your experience in using in Python, and also, I guess, how quickly you take to learn the code itself. Now, what you'll use in the course is a program called Trinket, and Trinket is what's known as a Python IDE. And an IDE is an integrated development environment, and basically it allows you to enter, type in code, and allows you to run it and test it or debug it for errors, and then to see the output from your code, typically on the right hand side. Now, it says to get the full functionality of the course, pupils will need to register for a free Trinket account. I'm not sure if that is necessary outside of school. I know that when you're inside school, you do not need to register with your C2K email address. But if you do need to register, if you are outside school, then you will need to register, for a Trinket account. And to do that, then you will need to go to the Trinket website, a link to which I will put in the Google Classroom as well. Please note the pupils will also require parental permission before they can create a Trinket account. Okay, and this then essentially allows you then to save anything that you create on your Trinket account to your into memory so that you can access it again. And that's achieved by clicking on the remix button you can see on the right hand side. So there's the Trinket website, which SIA are advising that you register, and I assume they're advising you to do that because obviously this is something you'll be accessing from home, and your C2K login may not transfer from when you logged in into the IDE that you're using on the SIA website. So just have a quick read over the first part of the course, the first task, which is creating a chatbot. And just quickly read through this here. This activity starts with the Hello World program. The pupils learn to use the print and input functions to display text on screen and to receive input from the user. By the end of this activity, the pupils will have learned what a string is, how to display text on the screen, how to ask the user a question, and how to store the user's answer in a variable. So each week I will take you through each task step by step. So this week we'll start with creating a chatbot. So let's do that now. So I'll go back to my Getting Started with Python course. I click on creating a chatbot. Refresh the page here. I'll click on next activity. I don't want to show you the solutions. Okay, so once you've clicked on creating a chatbot, now I think you needed to click on the drop down, click on overview, and this again outlines what you will cover over the course of this lesson. And I'll not repeat what I said, but if you can read those again. If I click on next activity, then this takes me to the first part of the creating a chatbot task. And you'll see that there are essentially 4 steps. Now, if I just read through this first bit, there is a 40-year-old tradition in programming that your first program should be Hello World. In Python, this is a very simple program to write. It's also a great introduction to programming a computer. In this case, we simply want the computer to show Hello World on the screen. To do this in Python, we use a function called print. The print function displays a series of characters on the screen. In computing, a series of characters has a special name. It's called a string. Speech marks tell the computer that the text is a string. So a string is what's known as a data type, and there are several data types in Python. There's a string, there's a float, and there's an int. And those are the 3 most common data types. A float allows you to store decimal numbers, and an int allows you to store, as the name suggests, integers, which are whole numbers. But for this particular step, we're just going to focus on a string. So this area here tells you what you have to type in. So in my Py window, main.py, I'm going to type in print, open brackets, speech marks, hello world. Don't forget your closing speech marks and your closing brackets. You'll find that, like all programming languages, Python is very particular about the closing of brackets and speech marks. So always be careful. If there's an error, it's typically because you haven't closed a bracket or haven't put a colon in. So it is quite particular in that sense. So once you've typed in the code, now you can run the code. So click the play button and you'll see that it shows you the output from the code on the right hand side. Clearly I can change that to my name, do the same thing, and it just changes it accordingly. So that's really the first task. If I quickly go on to the second one, the next part then says yes, print hello, and then ask the question, what is your name? So to do that, we simply type in print hello and hit the enter key, and then type in input what, put in your speech marks, what is your name, question mark. And whenever I run that, then you'll see that hello is printed, and then on a new line it says what is your name, and then I'll type Mr. Martin in here. It won't do anything, I'll just hit enter, and that's all it's supposed to do. It's just supposed to give you a little cursor to allow you to enter your name, but it doesn't store it anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. So that's quite a simple step. Let's just go to the next step, and the next step is then again printing hello, but this time instead of you just simply outputting what is your name to the screen, what you're going to do is you're going to use the input function, as it's known, to ask the person to enter their name, and whatever they type in will be stored in this variable, string variable called name. So let's just do that quickly. Print hello, and then I'm going to type in the name, which is a string variable, and type input, what is your name? And what's going to happen, as you'll see in a wee second, is once I hit run, it's going to appear, the following is going to appear, hello, and then what is your name? I'm going to type my name in, and then whenever I type in, once I press the enter key, that information or data is going to be sucked off the screen and stored into this variable name. So that's just like a place in memory, which I've given the name. Now I'm not doing anything with that data at this stage. That all I'm doing is reading in what the user enters on screen and storing it here. You'll see in the next step how we can make whatever stored here appear on the screen again. So let's just run that. So I'm going to click here on the cursor and type in my name and hit enter. Again, nothing happens except that I know that whatever I've entered here will now be stored where in this location in the computer's memory, which is referenced by this variable name. So that's that step done. If we go to the final step now, so again, this bit is useful just to I guess cover what you'll be doing in this particular part of the program, and also recap on what you've done previously. So what it's saying is it's going to get the computer to display hello on screen. Then it's going to get the computer to ask the question, what is your name, and store the answer in a variable. And then we want to print the user's name to the screen. So that's different from the last step. In the last step, all we did was ask the user their name and then store whatever they typed in the variable name. So this is the third and final step, if you like. So let's just type in what they have suggested up here. So print hello, and then using the variable name, I'm going to ask the user to input your name, and then I'm going to print whatever the user has entered back to the screen again. So it's very basic input and output. So let's just run that. So here I'm just going to type in my name, hit enter, and then it outputs whatever I have entered here. Because whatever I've entered here is sucked in and stored to the variable name, and I'm simply printing the contents of that variable name to the screen again. And that's really the first step. Now there's part 2 and part 3, and that really just is variations on a theme, and it's asking you to add other bits of information in, and that's called concatenation. And that's when you join a sentence to a variable. So I can quickly show you what is how we're going to do this. Type in hello, comma, and then plus name, and then run it. It says, what is your name? So I type in Mr. Martin. You'll see it joins essentially what I've typed in here onto this other sentence, hello, and that's achieved by using the little plus character. Part 3 is then where how you have to join, I guess, the remainder of the sentence onto the back of whatever the variable contains. So to do that, we simply add another plus, and then we put a full stop in there. We hope you enjoy the mini spell course. We run that. So when I type in, oops, you make sure you have to put your cursor in where the grey box is. Type in Mr. Martin, hit enter, and it joins whatever I've entered in Mr. Martin, which is stored in the variable name, to this sentence hello, and then adds another sentence after the variable name. So have a go at this task, and hopefully that will get you started this week. Okay.